Half tempted to just like not put the lower bolts in and be like, lower bolt delete.
That's the ADD. You can't get into that anymore.
No, because then I'll be sleeping tonight thinking about how I didn't put the bolts in. And then I'll have to look up 6 YouTube videos on how to put bolts in to get my confidence back. Left-handed backwards, that was the formula you needed. Of course, why didn't I think of that earlier? Feels wet, but it's just my hands. Potty Nats is this weekend, and I need to fix my fuel pressure regulator. So this was sitting on the head. It was copping way too much heat. I've moved it over the other side of the engine bay and just kind of zip tied it in place, and it's been working all right. Now I need to find a permanent solution so people don't think I'm just zip tying fuel pressure regs full time. Dodgy as. Let's see how we go. Apologies for the lighting. This is the Trans Am engine bay. Should do a breakdown on it soon. It's definitely got a built motor in it. It's got some good stuff, so we'll go through that in another episode real soon. But the main thing is these awesome heads I've got here. I had them reg mounted about here. It wasn't in a bad spot aside. It was copping a heap of heat from these heads, which is to be expected and was a bit of a concern when I first put it there. Didn't work, so we need to look at what else we can do. I want to keep this engine bay super clean. As you can see, I've done like all hidden wiring and kind of cleaned it up as much as you can. There's not much you can really see aside from AC lines and fuel lines and that sort of stuff, which is necessary. Over this side was where I found was a good spot away from most of the heat. But again, we just couldn't find a good spot. I don't want to drill any holes in the guards or anything like that. I have found 2 spare bolt holes just over here on the power steering pump. So I'm going to do a bit of a T-bracket and just mount this bad boy right here using the factory bracket there. And I'll just weld another bracket to it and make it fit nicely so it's kind of out of the way. I just wanted to also keep it out of the way of that belt in case that belt lets go. I just don't want anything impacting this that might cause an issue. Definitely don't want to fire anything like that. So I'll get started on this bracket. It's a pretty basic one. I'm just using some 5mm plate that I found. It's pretty sturdy, so it's going to do the job. Let's get fabricating. That is bracket done for the fuel pump. So I've just made a bit of a 6mm steel bracket, which is totally overkill, onto the Holly style bracket for it, but it's going to work good. Keep it out of the way of those belts and get it off the zip tie mount, which looks really shit and is a bit embarrassing. So now I can pop my bonnet and not be hiding it. All right, we're in the Trans Am engine bay. We've got the fuel reg bolted onto this brand new, beautiful bracket that I've made. We've got some new bolts as well that actually fit, because with the new bracket, it just was, we did longer bolts. Let's see if this actually fits. This is a bit fiddly, so this might take a minute or two, but let's try and make this one fit. It's a bit easy now. We've got some light in here too. That's everything in an awkward spot. It's the thing with AN lines too, is they always need to just line up perfectly before they fit. Starting to get some good petrol fumes down here too. Whew. That's why it doesn't fit. It's a dash 8. RIP paint on guards. Did I mention that I hate blue in AN fittings as well? So not only is this shit, it looks shit. All right, here is the line that I prepared earlier. So I just changed this line here to a like 45 or something very similar to that. So we get a nice better angle on it. It was threading on nicely, but now it's not. And the cool thing about having a shaker is you always need to take it off for stuff. So that's how the Trans Ams shaker comes off. It's just this end was loose before, so I just want to make sure it's all good. Feels good.
The only one that's probably going to leak, will possibly leak, is that one down there, so we'll just keep an eye on that. Sweet. Alright, I'll fire it up. Oh, that spark plug was coming off. That's not good. That's dry. That feels wet, but it's just my hands. Alright, beauty. Alright, we'll get the shaker back on and we're done. Now comes the fun part. Can't really see it, but I can feel it. There we are.
See how they come out. Yeah, 5.5 still.
5.5 psi.
Yeah, but the starter motor's not sounding good.
No, starter motor's still screeching. I've chucked a few shims in it, but it's not enough. So we're going to have to whack a few more in. I might even measure the clearance. It's a bit scientific, but we might even do that. I'll probably whack a few shims in and then see if it works, and if not, then measure it. But it's easier that way. That's a tomorrow job though. It's enough for today.
With Pontiac Nationals out of the way, it's time to get back onto the HG Kingswood project. First cab off the rank is to finalise the radiator modifications, which includes getting rid of the lower outlet, which is absolutely massive because it's to suit a Chevy V8. It's like 2.5 inch, whereas I need like a 38mm, which is about 1.5 inch or something like that. This is actually the second one I've made. Joke's on me. I actually cut the first one a little bit short, which is when I actually welded it, there was no space to put a hose clamp between the weld and the bead roll. So nice work there. This is my second one. I still left it a bit short. It's a really nice bead roll though. Check this out.
It's not bad for a $50 bead roller. I really like it. I've used it heaps lately too, so shout out to the eBay bead rollers.
I've actually linked the bead roller in the description. I've got an affiliate link. I think it's on Amazon or eBay. It was about $50 and I've actually used it a fair few times during this project already, so it was money well spent. Next cab off the rank with the radiator is to actually cut the hole. So as you can see here, I'm really tight on real estate, so I'm actually going to hang the pipe halfway off the radiator and weld it out, so we've actually got a little bit more space and can get it a little bit lower. And I've also got to plug up that massive hole, so that's also going to be fun. So to do that, I've just used some hole saws to make the actual templates to fill in the holes themselves, and then I'll just weld around it. This isn't the perfect way to do it, but I think it is the best way to get a really good finish. I've also got to make a semicircle to fill in the back half of that pipe that half hangs off. So we got that cut out, we've got it all tacked in, and it's time to weld out. So being a radiator, this didn't weld very well. It smelled like coolant the whole time, and even though I spent a lot of time cleaning it, it still didn't weld 100%. That's aluminium though. You could spend a lot of time on these things and it still might have a bit of contamination here and there. So it is the way it is, and this is what happens when you do modify old stuff instead of new stuff. These radiators are pretty cheap, so worst case scenario, if I ever do need to do another one, I'll just buy a brand newie and use that. They're off eBay for about $200. If you've got a HG and you need something that needs a bit of cooling, whether it's a V8 or a Hot 6, I recommend these. They come with fans and everything, and they were like $250, including the fan shroud. So definitely check them out as well. Pretty good for a cheap radiator. Do recommend.
And we're done. So just recapping, we've capped this outlet here and just welded it up. I've also added this fella in here, this new outlet, which is actually the correct size for the Barra, 38mm, and just given it a weld around. And also down the bottom there, as you can see, we've done a little bit of a knob out the bottom as well, just to make sure we get that full flow. Super happy with how it's turned out. This is the radiator all done now, so this is ready to go back in. We can now get the lower radiator hose fabbed up, and that will finalize the radiator and cooling system aside from the turbo. So happy days. Let's chuck this back in the car. Let's fit this radiator.
There's a whole lot of stuff in it. Don't make me jiggle, I'm full of chocolate. I'm definitely jiggling. So this is conversion things. So I'll just put this down. This is what happens when you have a conversion is the radiator won't fit in here unless I pull this off and back a little bit, which is the intercooler is attached to and everything's attached to. So it's a bit of a shuffle, but that's what happens when you fit big inline sixes in cars that didn't have big inline sixes. This will work. Found this on the side of the road once. Look at that. Paid itself off.
You had me at free.
See if this actually fits without busting some fins. So much easier when the radiator support panel is removed. Funny that. Alright, so now we've got to move this forwards and then sandwich it all together. This is just conversion things. I hate these bottom bolts. This is just going to be me whinging the whole time about putting bolts in shit spots. Everyone's like, oh, old cars must be easy to work on. No, they're still shit. They're just greasy as well. And got heaps of dirt in your eyes.
So much fun.
The dirt that comes out of this thing when I'm under it, I need to wear serious eye protection and some kind of respirator sometimes because you end up breathing it in. It's like years of
that dirt from celebrities.
Years and years. It's like Donnybrook and Mount Archer, about 10 kilos each. Can't get into this spot very well. It's like down past where the fan shroud bolts onto it. So there's like, if you've got midget fingers, it might work. But I know you don't. Definitely on more of the sausage variety. Yeah. And mine are just of the stupid variety that don't want to work right now.
The ADD variety.
I'm half tempted to just like not put the lower bolts in and be like, lower bolt delete.
That's the ADD. We can't get into that anymore.
No, because then I'll be sleeping tonight thinking about how I didn't put the bolts in. And then I'll have to look up 6 YouTube videos on how to put bolts in to get my confidence back. There we go. All right. Finally.
I never questioned you for a second.
Left-handed backwards. That was the formula you needed. Of course. Why didn't I think of that earlier? All right. We need one more bolt. There'll be one here somewhere. There we go. It's even got a washer. This one's a bit easy to access. This one's left-handed forwards for future reference.
Yes.
It's the good thing about when you do a conversion is because you take everything on and off about 50 times, you get real good at it and you know all the fast ways of doing it. It's weird that it just went righty-tighty to righty-loosey. We might have to... I don't know if it's actually going in the hole, probably. It's quite a long bolt, though. Oh, here we are. There's that. Come check this out. Doesn't matter because if it does go loose, there it is. So if we need to, we can just put a nut on it. That'll probably do it. All right, maybe a couple more. Let's see if we need to put a bolt on it. It's not actually compressing that washer yet. Now that's tight. Oop. That banging just really, really feels good. Good for the audience. I think I've just switched it and gone backwards. Nice. I'll go to bed later and be like, why is my ears ringing? Kingswood.
Now the radiator's back in, we can finalise the lower pipe. I'll do that next episode, and now's probably a good time to wrap this one up. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Swing us a comment down below. I do read them all and I do try and respond if I can. The next episode, we'll be looking at the wastegate merge as well as the lower radiator hose. I'm Josh. This is Redcliffe Muscle and Custom. I'll catch you next time.